Hello my darlings, and welcome back to Henford on Bagley. We're back in the area of Old New Henford today, where last time we started furnishing the inside of the village hall. Today we're continuing on with that by furnishing the last part, which is the basement below. So let's get into game and let's make a start. You can use my code BUMPKIN at checkout on the EA app or at sims.com. I receive a small commission from your purchase and you greatly support me and the channel. Thank you so much. Happy Saturday, my darlings, and welcome back to Let's Build the World. And here we are once again back at the village hall. Well, for the final time, may I just add. And we're continuing with the basement. We've got only a little bit to do really today. What I thought from last time, as I said, I want to swap over these two rooms. And we're going to change it live. We're going to do it all together. And we're going to have a little bit of a canteen moment going on here with some tables and chairs, a couple of toilets, an office and a kitchen. So that's what we're going to do today, yesterday. Sadly, I had to get rid of that ship's front. It just kept disappearing. I don't know what was going on with it. It just didn't like being here. And it was kind of taking up too much room anyway. So I've got rid of it. I've got rid of it and we're just going to keep it as it is. And it's fine. We can definitely do some lovely shows put on for the wonderful people of Whittington, just using that space up there. And to be honest, it's a lot less elaborate, which kind of makes sense for a village hall, to be honest. So there we go, done and dusted. So this is what we're going to do today. So as I said, if you remember from last time, I do want to change the sizes of these. I think they're all a little bit too big. The kitchen doesn't need to be as big as that. That can be a perfectly sized kitchen right there. And I think what I'm going to do, if it will allow it, is maybe change the floor plan slightly. So I think what I want to do is bring this all the way in now and go for a smaller office too. I think I'm going to get rid of the stone wall and stone floor, to be honest. I think we're going to go for something a little bit different down here. So that is the plan of action today, yes it is. Right, so this is going to be the kitchen now. I want to get some tiles and stuff in here instead, I think. And with the office itself, I think I'm just going to go for the exact same wallpaper that's out here and bring it in there. In fact, let's darken that down because there is a darker version. Yeah, just something a little bit more earthy toned like that. And then obviously we've got two toilets to do too. But hello, my loves. Hope you're all having a marvellous weekend. As we speak, I'm probably somewhere hiking. I'm going out on a hike this week just to get some training in. But I will upload a little bit to Instagram, I think, this week. I'm going to do that. Okay, right, tiles. So we need tiles for the kitchen. I want the kitchen to be a bit old, so I want the tiles to have that kind of like 90s-esque sort of vibe. These would probably go quite well down here, actually. Oh, they do, yes. Yes, with some matching tiles for the floor. Or at least something that will fit with it quite well. That might work, but I think I want to go for something a little bit more like this. I wish this came in more swatches, this one. I would like to see it. I really would. But yes, okay, right, we've done that. First things first, let's get in that oven. That big old canteen oven. I did think it was going to be too big for here, yes. Well, the door might have to change. Let's see. Can I just swap you around, my love? There we go. Stunning. Oh, right. So the door, if you can go there, you can squidge in there just the right amount. I might even change that door, you know, and go for a bit more of a kitchen-esque kind of door. What is a kitchen-esque kind of door, you may ask? Well, this. And it's the one from Dine Out. We use it to death. But I just always thought it is a kitchen door as far as I'm concerned. Commercial kitchen, may I add. Can I go for a brun? That looks a bit weird with the other doors, doesn't it? Maybe we should just go for a white there then. Just so it kind of fits in. Is there a softer version? Can we go for that? Yeah, that's a little bit better. Okay. Yes, canteen vibes coming through. Kind of feeling that. I'm feeling some bright sort of like murals on the wall. So let's type in a mural. You're terrible, mural. I like the kind of ones that look like community. This one here would be a good vibe. Yeah, I think it might be a bit too big for in here. Size it down? Yeah, let's size that one down. And I like that one there with the sunshine on too. It just always reminds me of something that they would definitely put up. in these kind of community sort of spaces. That's a little bit too small now, to be honest. What if we did a big one down here instead? Yeah, that's a bit better. And again, maybe they got in local artists or something to do that. Local artists to do that. Kind of vibing with that idea. Yes, I'm indeed. Right, so I want some permanent tables here. I don't think I want to do picnic tables. No, I want to do proper dining tables. So I want them to look a little bit battered. Not so much battered, maybe just a little bit older. So maybe even going down the route of using these, but that swatch is not filling me with vibes, and I love to be filled with vibes. Oh, actually the ones with tablecloths on could work in here. I could probably comfortably fit maybe 3 in here. Let's see if I could do, in fact, maybe even, no, I was just about to say maybe even 4, and that's taking the piss, that. I think 2 is going to be our perfect, but maybe we should make a big long community table. Yeah, let's have a big table down here. The legs are not going to allow me to push these together unless I can push them together and it doesn't look too weird. Let me have a look. It's okay. I think that could fit the vibe. Yeah, we can do that. And then using some, maybe, well, they're going to have to be quite bright, really, the chairs. Are they? Or just something that would look good with yellow. Blue always looks good with yellow. That doesn't fit there. I can see that. Let's move you out a little touch, please, if you would. Let's bring you back. There we go. Yep, that should be fine. These would look quite nice, I think. Let me have a little look-y. Let me have a little look-ski at this. I think I want to separate the tables off. Maybe I could do a table of 2 on each side like this. That's still giving enough room there. And then we could do the same here. Yeah, that works out a little bit better, but I don't like the chairs. I wish they did these in just a normal, like, wood swatch. Like, all of these colours, which the swatches are great. I like all of these colours. But I would just love to have seen some neutral wood tones with this chair because it's a gorgeous chair. What I'm going to give them is one of these older looking, school-esque looking chairs. I just think they would fit the vibe of this being a little canteen. Yeah, let's do it. Let's use the white ones as well, just so it's a plain swatch. They should be able to get and use each and every chair as well and move around the tables quite comfortably, which is exactly what I wanted. Yeah, that's a vibe. That is an absolute vibe. It's very simple, but I just know that this is just going to work out and it feels realistic to me. Let me have a little look again. Yes. Yes. Vibes, loves. Vibes. Let's move on to the kitchen. Now, we don't need much in here, but I do want to make it look like a commercial kitchen. So I think I'm going to go down the route of using that. This one. It screams commercial to me and I'm for it. So if I do you, you and you, and then we can put a fridge there. We can stick a sink in on one of them. Let's go for this one because that always looks good with that. Stunning bit of work. There's going to be a lot of plates to clean up, so a dishwasher is much needed. I don't imagine this place does like the soup kitchen kind of thing, like the main church does, but I still want to make it look like it's well stocked and things. Maybe I'll put in some cupboards. Do these cupboards go with that? Not hugely, but I'm going to put them in anyway. You, and then I'll do a smaller piece up here so I can fit a fridge underneath of it. Let's get a little fridge in here. I'm just going to go for a generic fridge, just like this. Flop it into place like that. Bob's your uncle. You know the rest. Right, annoyingly, no space for a bin. Because this is kind of a communal area, maybe we could put a bin out the front here. It would kind of make sense. If you finish your meal, come up, scrape it off, put the plates there, and then they take the plates. Vibes. We'll go for this one. I'll flop you down to there like that. We're going to change the colour of this. Maybe even bring a yellow onto that too. No, we need more blue in here. Let's go for a blue bin. There we go. And then the kitchen can use that as well. You know, it's not realistic, but it is to me. It is right now. It is right now in this climate. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, so we've got a sink. We need a prepping station. A prepping space, sorry. But hot drinks would be a good vibe down here. Even a microwave. There's just not enough space for both of them. Well, there is, because they're just going to prepare the food here. Let's do both of them. Let's do both. Let's get an old looking microwave in here, actually. Does that come in a white? I think it does, doesn't it? Yeah. Get an old microwave and a kettle. The cheapest kettle you got, please, Valerie. I'll have that one and flop it there like that. Just so they have got some areas to make a cup of tea for everybody who comes here, you know. Into that idea, right, this is a communal area or a public area, so maybe getting in a fire extinguisher just for a bit of detail, a bit of realness. But again, I'm just trying to keep as much detail as possible as I can down to a minimum. So let's get in these two, put them, in fact, I'm going to do you by the side. Plop you there above the tiles. You can go there like that. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, kitchen. Kitchen is sorted, and I'm happy with it. God, this is going to be quite a short part. Actually, I didn't even realise. Do excuse me if it is. I thought we were going to be down here for ages, but I just want to get everything that we need in here without going too haywire on detail and stuff. So, office space. I would definitely see some bookcases in here for a start. I don't know what bookcases to use in here as of yet. I might go down the route of doing a bit of a modular one, you know. Yeah, let's do it. You there. In fact, I could just do the taller ones, couldn't I? Do that one. Where's the other one? There she is. And then do two more of these above it. No, just one. Don't want it to be too tall, too dramatic. I'm going to change that swatch just so it's a little bit different. There we go. Yep, we've got that going on. And I want a desk in here. They would probably have some kind of meeting in here, really. But I don't know where I would want to put it. I think maybe the bookcase would look better on this wall. Or not look better, but work better. The door's opening this way. What about if I put that there and open the door? Oh, that's too close to the kitchen door. No, it's not. It's fine. Absolutely fine. That door will open and go in that little pocket there. And then we've got all this, haven't we? So, what I would want in here, I would imagine meetings and stuff go on here too. So, I would want the desk to maybe face the door itself. And I would want the desk to be kind of old. I like this one. What's that other colourway look like now? That's too red. And you are too warm. That was a good colourway. Okay. Flop you to there. Will simply be able to walk past there. They should be able to. Let's tuck it quite far in, actually. To around about there. Because I wouldn't mind getting a couple of seats in front of here, to be honest. Just for meetings and whatnot. Old desktop. But then if they were having like parish meetings and stuff, they would have a camera and things. Maybe I'm going to go for this one, actually. Just so it looks like they've got a camera and stuff on there. If you ever remember that meme where that local parish was having, "You've got no authority here." What was she called again? I can't remember. I think it happened in lockdown or something. And it was an old village parish in the UK having an argument over Zoom. It was hilarious. It really was. I must have watched that video about 10 times. I loved it. Perfect chair. Nothing just too descript. I would think they would have old pictures of the village in here. And I know this is not going to look anything like the old village. But my go-to painting when I'm thinking of old places is that one that came from Get Together. Aiden, get it right. That's what you should have said. Get it bloody right. Yeah, let's do you there. You there. Oh, that's not equal. You there. And I know there's 4 swatches on this. I wish I came in more this one because it's such a good... I still use this to death to this day. But we can just pretend this is like the river going through River Henford. And there we go. Yeah, that's the vibe. I might move you along a little bit. There we are. Yeah, that's a bit better. Okay. I see a lamp. I would have said plant, but there's no point in putting any kind of plant down here because it won't survive. It will not survive because why? Because there's no natural sunlight down here, my loves. Just going to go for a generic desk lamp, but I'm going to go for that one. Plop you to about there like that. Okay, well that's working for me. It's very plain, but these kind of places never really had much to them anyway. They were kind of bare because of funding and things. So realism on point as far as I'm concerned. Do need a rug in here though. Ooh. That does need to be bigger though. Oh, that's the perfect rug for in here, but it does need to be slightly bigger. Maybe do a 1.2. Stunning. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Just to bring a bit of detail and softness into the room. Lovely. So as I said, I do want to get a couple of chairs in here again for meetings and things, but I'd want the chair to look kind of old, to be honest. Is this coming to brown? Oh, it does look. It's a bit of too much of a brown though. That's a bit better. We'll go for these. And I'll just do one. I was going to do two, but there's just not the space for it in here. And I would like them to still be able to use this bookcase if needs be. But very plain. Does the job. Much like the most of this downstairs, actually. But it feels real to me. And that's the vibe. This is going to be a short part, isn't it? Oh, my Lord. Stu, excuse me. We'll have a tour around and everything. We'll do that. We'll do that. So, toilet. It needs to be an old style toilet, really. So I'm going to use this one from Vampires. People always get weirded out when I use this. They were like, that looks like such a posh toilet. When, in retrospect, in the UK, these toilets are always in the oldest of buildings. Like the oldest. And they're always a little bit shabby as well. We actually had one in our house before we took it out. It was broken. It was somebody else's toilet, you know. And yeah, there you go. Little story for you there. Wonderful story, Adrian. Right, we've gone for gold accents on there, so let's go for some gold accents here too. Very simple public toilets. Let's get a little mirror in. Right, there we are. Bin. A little tiny pedal bin would be great. Can we have one of these? Oh, actually you. Let's have you beside you down. Flop you to there. That colourway is absolutely fine. Flop another one there. I'm going to do some hand towels and... In fact, I'm just going to do that. The towel dispenser Z13. You know, what is life without a towel dispenser Z13? I'm going to do one there. Oh, wrong toilet, my love. Well, not wrong toilet, just wrong area because there's no toilet over there. Down there like that. Yes. Imagine that's one of the ones that go zzz, you know, and prints you off a sheet. Love them. Okay. And I might even, just for a little final bit of detail in here, just add in this little plunger selection. Yeah, but that always looks too big to me. So I'm going to size you down. Oh, not into the wall, thank you. And the same over here. And actually, just one more little moment. A little soap dispenser on each of the sinks. There we go. Just for a little je ne sais quoi. Yes! Well, there we go. I can't believe I got that done so fast. I really can't. I really can't do it, excuse me. Well, I've been pumping out our videos for ages at the minute, haven't I? I've been doing loads of long videos. But here we are. So here we are, my darlings. I'm so happy with this. This is our village hall. So we've obviously got a lovely communal garden with cherry trees and bluebells and blueberries, spinach, parsley, sage, all of the things. I also put out a couple of hoses as well. I did forget to mention that on either edge because I did see one of your comments where you said that would be a good thing to add. So that's all been added in. A little stepping stone moment that takes us into a greenhouse, Zabira's greenhouse, where she's going to be growing all of her flowers for her business. A couple of beehives. I also put a bench around here too, just so there was a little like gameplay option other than the bins around the back of the village hall. But yeah, I've just thanked Steve once again for coming in clutch with the shape of the village hall because it's just perfect. Just what I wanted to do. And yet couldn't. Could not indeed. I didn't want to put windows here at the end because obviously I've made that into a store cupboard. So I left off the windows from there. And I'm fine with it. Right. So in through the front entrance of the village hall itself. Brings you into this little tiny area here. Downstairs is where we've just done. In through this cupboard is the storage room where they keep all the poker tables, spare chairs and a whiteboard. And then we've obviously got the main village hall itself. So obviously they've got a big play going on at the minute. The Pirates of Penis Land. What did I say again? It was something awful. It really was. But yeah, this is cute. I like the way that this looks. I think I can feel the vibe in here. And imagine when all this is like cleared out too. This would be just as they usually are, just a big empty hall. You can even hire these out as well. You can hire them out for birthdays and stuff. I've been to a few birthday parties. Oh, I do need to colour the roof there. I forgot to do that. Oh, and there. Oh dear, Aiden. We'll make sure to do that. What about in there then? Bloody hell, how did I miss all these? I'm doing it now because I'm infuriated. There we go, much better. All of the ceilings have been painted now. How dare I, to be honest. And down into the basement. A rather little simple little canteen area here for the community to enjoy. We've got ourselves a tiny little kitchen for them to cook some food for the locals. Very nice little touch. And then round to this way, we've got ourselves a little office where all the parish meetings and stuff go on, I would imagine. Not meetings, but Zoom meetings at least. Little bookcase there, stunning. And then over here, we've got our toilets. And there we go, my love. The village hall is complete. I'm going to be back next week with more of this, obviously. This, by the way, this was part 30. I've never done that on one build before. That is crazy. But I'm going to be back next week with this lot here, which is going to be our Airbnb lot. We're going to do a nice rustic thatched cottage. That's what I'd like to do. But have the most marvellous weekends. I'll be back on Tuesday with more House Flipper 2. Leave me some lovely comments down below. And I'll see you all again on Tuesday. Goodbye.